Hello, Lars Minor, CEO of Newbury Phamaceuticals. Thanks very much for joining me today.
Thank you, Alf, for having the opportunity.
Your company is very new on the stock exchange. You listed on Nasdaq First North less than 2 weeks ago. The company is new, but I know that you bring a lot of experience in what you plan to achieve with the company. But before we go into that, could you just take 1 minute and sum up what Newbury Phamaceuticals is all about?
Absolutely, indeed. Newbury Pharmaceutical is a Swedish-based pharmaceutical company focused on the Scandinavian market and focused on in-licensing products to commercialize those in the Scandinavian market. So we rely on partnerships and do not have assets tied up in production nor in research and development, but solely rely on in-licensing or acquiring products that we can commercialize in the Scandinavian market. So what we do is basically what we call a hybrid business model, where we focus on specialty medicine and own brands, and thereby can compete with both own brands and specialty products in the Scandinavian markets.
And you've chosen a very focused strategy. You mentioned that you focus on Scandinavia, but you also focus in terms of therapeutical areas. Why is that?
We believe very much in focus in order not to dilute your efforts. And in terms of geography, we have chosen Scandinavia, potentially the Nordics, because we do see a need for what we call a local champion. A local champion that can attract products and promote and commercialize products in the Scandinavian markets, and thereby be an attractive partner for suppliers who have an ambition of being represented in the Scandinavian market. And that's basically our claim to fame, that we know the Scandinavian market very well, and we focus on the Scandinavian market, and thereby can also give the necessary attention to our partners that they deserve to be represented in the Scandinavian market. In terms of products, we have a focus on specialty medicine and own brands. And we do that because we have seen that for specialty medicine, there is, by 2025, basically going to be 60% of the medicine spent is for specialty medicine. And that is an area where we know that diseases are requiring good and affordable medicines, and that's where we can come in and offer medicines that create value for society and for patients, and can compete in the market with the medicines that we have acquired in our portfolio. And at the same time, we want to launch own brands and thereby build brand loyalty and promote those brands. So with that hybrid business model, we're going to compete in both tenders and more classical sales and marketing tools to build a brand. And that's the beauty of our business model, that we have those two avenues to play with.
And you also have announced a very aggressive growth strategy. You already have a big pipeline, and you also plan to expand that going forward further. Can you tell us a little bit both about the current pipeline and how you expect to expand it?
Yes. So the pipeline has been built over the past 2 years, and we are so lucky that we already have 27 products in the pipeline that are lined up for a launch starting in 2022 until 2027. So a steady stream of launches lined up over the next coming years based on that pipeline. And that pipeline is basically built around 3 distinct therapeutic areas, you could say. We have a strong focus on oncology. Oncology, where we have 11 different products in the pipeline prepared for launch throughout the next couple of years. In addition to that, we have a strong focus on rare diseases which typically are very few patients, but treatments that are highly needed in the market and where patients will be treated, and where we can offer competition and affordable products to the market. And the last area that we have is neurology, with a strong focus on multiple sclerosis, where we can offer products in the market. So that's our current pipeline. In terms of further building that pipeline, we are constantly looking for new opportunities in terms of in-licensing opportunities, where we can get products for the Scandinavian or Nordic market, where we can represent suppliers and producers. We're also looking for distribution agreements, classical distribution agreements, where we could represent other companies. And we're also scouting for merger and acquisitions opportunities as we move on, where we could acquire a portfolio and integrate that into our pipeline. So there are multiple ways where we can build that pipeline, but I think the track record of building a pipeline in 2 years of 27 products is a testimony to a strong business development capability in the company.
And you have also already gotten 2 product approvals for Scandinavia. Can you tell us what they are and how soon you expect them to start generating revenues?
Yes. So we have 2 recently approved products, and the first one is icatibant Newbury, which we are planning to launch during 2022. It's a typical product for Newbury in the sense that it's a rare disease product. It will go to a large degree into tenders. So when we will launch depend on when the tenders will be opened, whether we will win those tenders, and in which country we will win those tenders. Well, we are planning to have that product on the market during this year. And hopefully during the year we can announce more results about how that product is progressing. The second product that we have obtained registration is another good example of how our strategy is coming to life, in the sense that we have one product registered, which we're going to launch, we're not going to launch it before 2025, because the loss of exclusivity is not going to expire before that date. So, but we have obtained the registration and are ready to launch as soon as it is possible in the market, and thereby we are ready and win time in the market. So that is a good example of how our portfolio has been built. And the 27 products that we have in the pipeline, we're going to launch them in a steady stream over the next couple of years, with an emphasis on 2023, 2024, 2025 in terms of the launches, and where we will be scaling up sales significantly from where we are today.
Now, I know that you argue that 2 of your best assets in the company are your experienced staff and also your industry partnerships. Can you tell us a little bit more about those 2 and also what they mean for your chance of success?
Yes, absolutely. We rely heavily on partnerships and put a lot of emphasis on building strategic partnerships with our suppliers and partners. And would like to be seen as the local champion in the Scandinavian market, the go-to place for suppliers who wants to be represented in Scandinavia. And I think one of our recent additions to the pipeline, which is tetraglutide, where we obtained exclusive rights for the Nordics, is a good testimony to actually our ability to create value and trust with our partners. In the sense that we have obtained exclusive rights for tetraglutide, a rare disease product treating short bowel syndrome, in the Scandinavian or in the Nordic markets, and thereby we do believe that we have a blueprint of our strategy and our ability to be a strong partner for the various partners that we have. So we rely heavily on partnerships and would like to continue expanding our number of partnerships that we have, and are constantly looking for new partnerships in terms of building our pipeline and getting more products to market. The partnerships that we're building is of course also built on our ability and our network that we have as managers. So the management team is certainly bringing a lot of value to Newbury Phamaceuticals, in the sense that we have strong executional power and knowledge of the market, and have built businesses throughout our careers. And I think one testimony to that is the founder, Carl Carlson, the chairman of Newbury Phamaceuticals, who previously have built the company Bluefish Pharma, reached sales, I believe, around 400 million Swedish kronor by now. And he has managed to build that business and has sold all his shares in Bluefish Pharma, but is now focusing solely on Newbury Phamaceuticals. So I believe together, the management team and Carl Carlson, we are set for a very exciting growth journey ahead of us.
Thank you. And just to sum up some of your points there, could you just compile a little list of what your best arguments are for investing in Newbury?
Yeah, well, Newbury Phamaceuticals is a newly listed company. We recently was listed on the Stockholm Stock Exchange from First North. We had a 80% pre-commitment for subscription. And as part of the IPO, we actually had an oversubscribed IPO, despite the, I think we can say, tough climate in the stock exchange market at current, and managed to have an oversubscription that's pretty decent, I think. Of course, that also means that we have welcomed 1,500 new shareholders to Newbury Phamaceuticals. And I think the reason for investing in Newbury Phamaceuticals would be to see the value of the strong pipeline that we have, see the value in our ability to be the local champion based on our strong management team experience, and our ability to attract partnerships and work with partners and commercialize those assets in the market. So I do believe that we have a very exciting growth journey ahead of us, with a number of products lined up for launch starting in 2022 up until 2027, with an ambition of reaching 300 million Swedish kronor by 2026.
Sounds very good. So I would want to wish you best of luck, and thanks very much for talking to me today.
Thank you for having the opportunity, Alf.
Bye-bye.